Hi everybody, it's Jason with Centralutions. I just wanted to give you a quick what's new in version 1.3 video. So let's take a look at what's new in l.a.s.r 1.3. Let's go check the help screen, and if we go there we can see the change log for this version. So 1.3 says that we added reload mode for professional version. We added special purpose targets, and we gave you the ability to change the amount of time that the random start mode will use before it'll beep to begin. And then of course, as always, there were minor updates and some bug fixes and that kind of thing that were discovered as we went through version 1.2. So let's take a look at more detail on the top three there. Let's talk about reload mode for a second. Reload mode is accessible through the settings, as are all of our special shooting modes. And if you go ahead and enable it, you can click on the options here, and we'll walk through what each one of these do. So reload mode is going to simulate an empty magazine for every, in this case, every 6 to 8 shots. So it'll randomly choose the number of shots in your virtual magazine, and it will force you to reload when you reach that limit. Now, if you wanted a consistent number of rounds in your virtual magazine, you could just make both of these numbers the same. So if I wanted a 15 round magazine, I could bump all of these up to 15, and then it's always going to call for a reload after 15 shots. The other option other options in this screen, let me bump this back down so it's easier to demonstrate later. We'll go between every 6 and 8 shots, and we want to ignore shots for at least 1 second. So you need to time your reload and figure out how long it takes you to reload so that l.a.s.r knows when to come back and allow you to place another shot on the target, and we'll kind of demonstrate that here in just a minute. The reload sounds, this is the sound that l.a.s.r is going to play to let you know that you need to reload. Right now it's set to announce a person is going to come in and say reload. The other option is click, so you'll hear a click as if you pulled the trigger on an empty chamber. And then when we want to call for that reload. So in this case we want to call for the reload after the last round is fired. You can also have it call for reload on the first empty shot. So on shot number 16, if you had a 15 round magazine, on shot number 16 it would call for a reload. So let's keep it as after the last round is fired out of the virtual magazine, we want it to call reload, and we want it to wait for at least 1 second before it allows us to place another shot on any target. Okay, so let's go ahead and enable that, and let's start our camera. And I'm just going to highlight one target for now. And we're going to make sure our magazine is loaded. And it says that down here on the bottom right, you'll see that it tells us that there's 8 rounds in the magazine. And so we will start shooting. And we're not timed or anything, but I'll place a couple shots on target.
Reload!
And there on the 8th shot, it called for a reload. And then I can continue shooting after I've reloaded. And we'll get another
reload.
And then it'll wait a second before it'll allow me to shoot again. So you can obviously change any of the settings that we looked at prior to make that reload mode more accurate for your particular needs. But just be aware that it is available, and hopefully it helps your dry fire practice as far as reloads and that kind of thing. Okay, the next thing we want to look at, if we go back to our list, is that we added a special purpose target mode. So you can change a target to have a special purpose. So let's switch our timer over to immediate start. Well, let's use random start. Okay, and then as you know, if I were to click here, it would give me a random start, and then eventually the timer starts and I can start shooting just like that. Okay. Now if I'm across the room, I don't want to have to come back to the computer to clear my shots and then to restart the timer like that. So if I don't want to do that, what I can do is I can highlight another area. So let's use, tell you what, let's use the little label printer that's sitting here on my desk, and we'll just highlight a little portion of it. And notice that it is target number 2 on our list. I can come up here into the upper left and click on the target options button. And this is a dialog that lets me set a couple of things about each target. And I can tell it that target number 2 is a special purpose, and I want it to trigger a clear and continue shooting. Okay, and so when I put a shot on that target, it's actually going to clear all the shots, and it's going to continue shooting. So it'll restart the timer. So let's go ahead and see that demonstrated. And then notice you have a visual indicator there to let you know that that's a special purpose target. That is not actually a target that is going to record shots. So let's go ahead and I will actually place a shot. I won't even click on that button. I'll just place a shot right on that special purpose target. And that audible click lets you know that it's been triggered. The timer started, and then I can start shooting.
Reload.
And there's my reload mode because I didn't disable it. Okay, and then when I'm done with that string of fire, I can go ahead and place another shot down on my label printer there. And it'll restart the timer for me. And then I can start shooting again. So hopefully that's useful, especially if you're shooting from across the room. You should be able to restart your timer and give yourself another prompt whenever you need to, and you don't have to come back to the computer to actually do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear all this out here. And then let's take a look at the last item on our list that we want to show off. Oop, click the wrong button there. And that last item is the ability to set the number of seconds the timer delays in random start mode. So let's demonstrate that real quick. So random start is the timer mode that's listed right here. And so you have two different random start modes. There's random start mode with par, and there's random start. And both of those would be affected by this particular setting. And let me highlight one target. And then let's go up to settings. And let's go ahead and change, see how it says start delay between 1 and 5 seconds. So the delay that it's going to give me for this random start is always going to be between 1 and 5 seconds. So if I wanted to bump that up, let's say I wanted to start it, I didn't want to use a special purpose target for whatever reason. I wanted time to get from the computer to my shooting area. And I needed a couple of seconds to do that. So let's bump that up so that every random start is going to be between 3 and 6 seconds. And so let's go ahead and close that. And then when we start the timer, we're going to notice that that timer gave us over 3 seconds to get to wherever it was that we were going to start shooting from. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that again. I'm going to click the start shooting button here, and notice the start time on the timer that when it starts to tick down. And there you go, it was above 3 seconds. We can do it again. It was above 4 seconds that time, above 3 seconds, and so on. So if I go back and I change this, and I say, well, I actually need even more time, so let's go ahead and go between 6 and 9 seconds. And there we go, that was above 6, and it's going to count down. That was above 7 seconds, and it's going to start counting down. So anyway, hopefully that helps you out. That makes the timer in l.a.s.r a little more in line with your typical hardware timer that you would use on the range. It allows you to set that delay before the start, and kind of gives you a little more flexibility so you're not rushing to get to wherever you need to start shooting. In any case, that is what's new in version 1.3. We hope it's useful for you, and we hope that you enjoy l.a.s.r and that you are getting more and more out of your dry fire practice. Thanks.